Good morning, Copers. Good morning. How are you guys doing? What am I even doing here today? Why am I here? I can't believe you guys hit the goal last week. I should be downloading Claire Obscura right now, not thinking about Clavicular's breakup. Not that anybody cares about that either, but kind of a slow, slow news day, slow weekend. Oh, a nigga stressed out. Yeah. Oh, you guys don't like it's hip hop week, by the way. You guys don't like hip hop. Well, guess what? I don't like working. So so we're even. You don't like hip hop. I don't like working. So we're even. I can't believe this is happening.
I'm not even supposed to be here today. Fuck! I'm not even supposed to be here today. I'm not even supposed to be here today. Oh, fuck you.
Working on my day off.
Working on my day off. What's up? So let's get into it. So last week, I did this thing with Jay Dyer. It was a bunch of like drama. Sorry, just calling like I see it. And then this guy, Cleave to Antiquity, who I've never heard of before, he like tags me in his tweet. He's going to do a whole stream about me because I said, I replied to a comment. Someone was like, you think like Corey Mahler wants to kill Orthodox Christians? You really defend that? And I replied, I was like, you know, after the last 24 hours, I am coming around to that position, you know, little bit of internet banner. But so this guy's like doing a whole stream to talk about how I'm like a psychopath. And he tags me. So I went on to talk to him. And a lot of people called me a liar. And so my intent in talking to this Cleave to Antiquity guy was what I wanted to do, my agenda, if you will.
The Orthodoxer sent $3 on Power Chat. Just thought I'd say I watched The Backrooms and Obsession over the weekend with my brother. I enjoyed both movies but liked Obsession more. I've been loving the analyses of both movies I've on YouTube. Have you seen either or both?
I did see Obsession. Allison and I saw it in the theater. We liked it. I haven't seen Backrooms. I'll watch it like when it's on Amazon Prime, probably while I'm scheduling my memes or whatever. Like I'll put it on in the background, but I don't really care. And yeah, I the only analysis I watched of Obsession was JF, because JF did a breakdown, and I'm always curious what that guy has to say. But it's just, I don't think it's really, it ain't that deep, you know? JF was definitely reaching, I thought, in his analysis. But it's like a good horror movie. It's like, by horror movie standards, it's like a 7 out of 10, if not an 8 out of 10. Anyway, so my agenda in talking to this Cleave guy was I wanted to just like go over like, and it's not very complicated, like what Jay and I said to each other and then who lied about it in public. And so I'm trying to have that conversation with him. And it was like, he was doing the debate bro equivalent of a guy who like sticks his fingers in his ears and is going like, la, 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 I can't hear you. I can't hear you. La, 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 la. And I just like do not have patience for dealing with people like that. I don't really care that much. That's the thing. I don't actually care that much. So if you're going to do that and you're not going to want to look at it, then I'm not going to bother keeping on you. But I definitely, like, while I was talking to him, I got the impression that like he knows if he actually goes down that rabbit hole that it's not gonna end the way he wants. Like in other words, my impression is people are afraid to do a full defense of Jay Dyer's behavior because they don't think it's that defensible. So I was getting like and I've done 2 call-in shows since then. I've asked any of these people calling me a liar to call in so we can go over the evidence together, and not a single person will do it. So it's like nobody wants to defend Jay Dyer in that way. Whatever. And then, and then he like called me effeminate, and I was like, don't call me effeminate. And that turned into a meme now where everybody is like saying I effeminate. They come over and leave a comment. They're like, I effeminate. And it's like, I just want to point something out for all the people who are too stupid. Not that you're watching. If you were watching this show, you wouldn't be stupid, but he called me effeminate based off a straw man, right? I was bringing up how Jay called me out. Like Jay called me a coward for not wanting to debate him. And I was trying to make the point about how that was both dishonest and hypocritical. Dishonest because I did offer him a debate, and hypocritical because he turned down my debate, which means he would be just as much of a coward as me. Like those two things, if we each turn down each other's debates, that cancels each other out, right? But what Cleave to Antiquity did was he strawman me, implied that I was like tone policing Jay Dyer, and that I was upset that he would, how dare he like try to ridicule me and be a big meanie head, and then called me effeminate for that. And so it's like, yeah, I mean, it could seem effeminate if you're too stupid to understand the point that's being made, but I wasn't actually tone policing Jay Dyer. I was calling him out for dishonesty and hypocrisy, which are materially different charges than being a big meanie poo-poo head. And then it just turned into this like debate me on theology debate, which is like, this is what these guys do, right? And again, I had no interest in doing this. And as he's like, he like, I could see like the glee, just like the glee in his eye, as like, he's like, oh, this guy's going to make a mistake on theology and I'm going to own him and I'm going to get super chats. And it was like the least Christian experience I've had. I did not feel like I was talking to my Christian brother. I felt like I was talking to this guy who was like really, really hoping that I had some kind of like error that would condemn my soul to hell that he would use to make money. You know what I mean? It's like, oh man, I hope this guy's theology is bad and he's going to hell so I can make money off of it. I'm like, this does not feel Christian to me. So that was that. Yesterday he tagged me in he posts a screenshot of a Corey Mahler tweet where Corey Mahler was saying that Hitler was a Christ-like figure. And Cleve tweets this. Yeah, I should have said I'm a white Hebrew. He tweets this and he tags me again. And he's like, is this your guy, LP Original G? And so I blocked him. I'm like, dude, leave. I don't need to be seeing your testosterone lowering tweets where you're crying about Hitler. Who apparently Jay Dyer also hates Hitler. So, you know, make of that what you will. I'll go on the record and say he was pretty cool and had a lot of good ideas. I'll die on that hill. You know, nobody's perfect. I'm sure you can criticize Hitler for certain things. Maybe not. Maybe he wasn't quite as pan-European pro-white as I might be. But he was a pretty cool dude with some pretty cool aesthetics and some really good ideas. And so I don't know why you're going to like fucking cry about him. Jay Dyer says Hitler was working for the Rothschilds. Dude. Dude, and even like saying the word Rothschilds to me is like, okay, you're not a serious person. Like, that's not somebody who is like, learning about the Rothschilds is not going to help you in life. At absolute best, it will just be a piece of trivia. But at worst, you'll develop like a paranoid psychosis and get completely detached from reality if you go too far down that rabbit hole. So at best, it'll give you like a piece of trivia that you could drop during like a dinner party. And at worst, it will like destroy you mentally. But what it won't do is like help you in life. Like, I know a piece of Rothschild's trivia. Let me give you an example. Rothschild, this is like a common piece of trivia that people know. He went to the UK Parliament to argue about why milk should be pasteurized. And so people use this as a red pill to why you're supposed to drink raw milk, but pasteurized milk doesn't actually kill you. It's like drinking pasteurized milk is actually fine. And so if you think that like pasteurized milk is like a satanic plot, that's what I mean by like becoming insane. Anyway, so these guys hate Hitler. They cry about Hitler. Whatever. That's their thing. But also Jim Bob, made by Jim Bob, did like a 4.5 hour stream called I Hypocrite Defends Garbage Human. The garbage human being Corey Mahler. And I didn't watch it. And then on Saturday, I was like, okay, I have some free time. Maybe I'll listen to a little bit just to, because I don't really know Jim Bob. I don't really know. I get the impression he is like more fair and more reasonable and more sufferable than somebody like Cleave to Antiquity, who is utterly insufferable. But I don't really know. I don't really know the guy. So I was like, all right, let me listen a little bit, just try to get a sense for what this guy's about, how reasonable and fair he is when he's dealing with his Christian brothers. And I couldn't listen to it because it was paywalled, and I don't care. I definitely don't care that much. I'm not buying a membership to your channel just to see your critique of me. But I thought, let me ask Jim Bob if he wants to get on a little brief, like 30-minute stream with me just to hash it out. Just like you can tell me what your criticisms are, and I'll give you my arguments, and maybe we can, understand each other. And because one of the, he called me a white raisin. What does that mean? I'm old and wrinkled? That's fine. That's just like banter. If he's saying that I'm wrinkly, that's just banter. He's like an artist, so he would, he'll really notice a person's, the kind of characteristics that you could caricature. Is that how you say it? I almost said caricature, which triggers people. But yeah, white raisin, that's the best kind of raisin. Yeah. So anyway, if that's the worst thing he said, I really don't care. But, I reserve the right if somebody, this is like one of my codes. I have certain codes and principles. If somebody talks about me in public in a video or a stream.
The Nutter sent $3 on Power Chat. Rothschild fact. I knew a guy who only drank raw milk because of the conspiracy. I told him to come over and I'd give him some of my raw milk stash. It was not milk, it was nut.
Thank you, the Nutter. If you talk about me in public or on stream, I reserve the right to talk to you on a stream in a back and forth. It's like I reserve the right to face my accuser. You know what I mean? And anybody who...
WN sent $10 on Power Chat. You defending Corey on the psychopath label really got under some people's skin. I keep seeing you mentioned in replies on Corey's posts, usually the ones about. It's great.
Yeah, there's a deep irony, there's a deep irony because there have been like a couple 100,000 just about Orthodox Christians who were actually killed over the last 5 years. And they were killed by Orthodox Christians. So Orthodox Christians have been killing each other en masse for the last 5 years. And that's blessed by the Russian Orthodox Church. They're like blessing the bombs, blessing the nukes, saying it's a holy war. And Jay Dyer, if I'm not mistaken, is a member of the Russian Orthodox Church outside Russia, the Rokor, I believe it's called. This is not really my wheelhouse, so forgive me if I'm technically wrong on something, but I think he's a member of that church, the same church that blesses the bombs that have been used to kill like 200,000 white Orthodox Christians in the Ukraine. So, Look, I don't really have a strong opinion on Ukraine because it's a complicated geopolitical issue that is sort of also not my wheelhouse. So I'm not going to sit here and like say that the Russians are evil or anything like that. But it doesn't matter. It's not a problem for my position because I'm not the one sitting here clutching my pearls about genocide. That's for them to have to explain.
Shadman91 sent $3 on Power Chat. Twitch chats aren't coming through on stream. Also hilo slash.
Well, I don't know what the deal is there. Yeah, I see that. Yeah, it's probably just glitched for now. Sorry. Thanks for the $3. Anyway, so I'm asking Jim Bob and he's like making excuses. He also like right out front was like, I do not want to talk about Jay Dyer's behavior. And so again, I'm like, okay, another guy who doesn't want to have to defend Jay Dyer. Interesting. I don't know, man. This might not be the most sustainable situation. You got a guy.
The Orthodoxer sent $3 on Power Chat. I'm at 8 minutes behind, but as an Orthodox Christian, I'm not happy with what Cleve and Jay have been doing. I have my beef with Mahler, but this show is dumb as.
Thank you, the Orthodoxer. Well, Sex Wars just got retired, basically, but we're willing to come out of retirement if there's somebody I really want to talk to, we really want to talk to, and like Clav is one of those people. But that he wanted money. He wanted way more money than I was willing to give him. He didn't put a number, but I said I'd give him $200 and he didn't respond. But so like you might get another episode at some point, maybe, but don't hold your breath. So, anyway, so I'm talking to Jim Bob. I'm like, let's talk. And he's like, no, I don't want to have to like talk about Jay Dyer. I'm like, okay, well, let's just talk about you and me and Corey Mahler. Let's just talk about like whether or not you are doing like woke mob cancel culture shit, trying to push Corey Mahler out of the discourse. And then to the point where you're even going after people who are defending him and saying he should have a seat at the table. And he's making all these excuses. He's saying, I'm busy this week and it'll be old news by next week. And I'm like, I don't have a statute of limitations on this. We can schedule it 6 months from now for all I care, first of all. And second of all, and then he's going, and I don't really like drama, and I'm like losing my patience because I'm like, well, that's funny because you had a lot to say about me, seemingly. And so it seems like he's not going to do it. And again, like if you talk about me, but you won't talk to me, you're dead to me at that point. This is what happened with Short Fat Otaku. He did a video, talked a bunch of trash. I asked him to get on a stream with me so we could go over it together. And he refused to do that. So Short Fat Otaku is like dead to me. The only way I would talk to like somebody like him the only way I would ever talk to Cleve to Antiquity again after talking to him for like 20 minutes is if like my starting fee would be like $6,000 just to show up if you wanted me to talk to that guy again after the way he acted. Either that or a boxing match. Either I get $6,000 just for showing up, or I get to get inside a boxing ring with Cleve to Antiquity after the conversation. We talk and then we box. Those are the only two ways. So anyway, I start to type out my message to Jim Bob. I'm in the middle of typing a message of like how, look, I don't fuck with people. I don't fuck with people who are going to talk shit about me, but not talk to me. That's like a deal breaker. So have a nice life, unfollow, good riddance. I'm typing this to Jim Bob. And before I hit send, he messages me. He says, attend divine liturgy and I'll talk to you. So I'm like, oh, pause. And I ask him, so you're saying If I attend a divine liturgy service, you will do a stream with me where we discuss your criticisms of me. That's your word. And he goes, yeah, that's my word. And then he's like, you got to send me a picture inside the or whatever. And I'm kind of, even that is sort of offensive to me. Like, well, I'm going to lie about that. You know, like I'm a very, my word is my bond. You know what I mean? So even like questioning it is kind of insulting, but whatever. He doesn't know me like that, I guess. So I agreed to that. I told him it'll take me 3 weeks though. I couldn't do it yesterday because my old pastor, who hasn't been around for 4 years, was coming back to do a special, because there's like somebody died. So he came back to do their celebration of life. They call funerals now, I guess. He came back to do her funeral, and he was going to do a sermon at the church too. And I wouldn't have missed that for the world. So we went to that yesterday. And then I'm going to be this coming Sunday, I'm going to be in Idaho, which technically I could look for a church there, but I'm not really trying to do all that on my vacation. We're leaving Saturday morning. We're leaving, and we're going to be just having got to there. So like the week after that I can do it. And so I told him that, and I talked to Allison about it because I want her to come with me. But I thought we should leave the kids at home because they're not really super church friendly. So I was like, let's leave the kids with your parents and you come with me. And the reason I wanted her to come with me is because there's part of me that is like, fuck man, what if I really like it? What if I go to this and I'm like, this is what I've been looking for my whole life, you know? I'm trying to be very open-minded about it. I'm not trying to, as much as my experience with the Ortho Bros has been extremely unpleasant, and it has, the number of comments insulting me and calling me a liar and a coward and this and that, and more importantly, just how stupid the people are. They're so stupid. I'll give you one example of like a shockingly stupid comment I got. Some guy was like, how dare you say Jay doesn't have ethics? You don't know him. And I'm like, well, I mean, he lied about me in public. So yeah. And then some guy says, well, why don't you call into his show? And I replied and I said, he blocked me. I'm not going to stalk him. I'm not going to call in after he blocked me. And some guy replies to that and says, stalking is a crazy self-report. And that got like multiple likes. And I'm looking at that and I'm thinking, wait a minute. Like the implication is like I was calling myself a stalker, but I was actually explaining that I'm not going to stalk him just because you want me to, dummy. So they're just like so dumb. Anyway, so I'll be going to the Divine Liturgy in Olympia Sunday after next, and then I'll do a convo with Jim Bob about everything, and we'll see how that goes. Meanwhile, there's some Corey Mahler clips I have for you here, because there's a guy, Corey Mahler's been doing like Q&As, and there's a guy who's been like clipping them and posting them on X. So this is the one where Corey Mahler was asked about joining Patriot Front being a officially secular, or they're not like officially Christian. And so somebody asked Corey Mahler about that. Here's what Corey had to say.
I have been thinking about submitting an application to Patriot Front since I heard you recommend it as a good organization, and even more so since their march on the 4th. But I was looking into the organization. I was a bit dejected by Rousseau's lack of religion, as well as the organization's stated secularism and openness to paganism. I get the sense most of the members are Christians. That is definitely correct. But what do you make of this less than ideal aspect of Patriot Front as a Christian nationalist? Yes, Patriot Front is not necessarily secular. I know that what their materials say. I have a copy of it here somewhere. I went to their national gathering. I guess it's pretty much public knowledge at this point. I spoke with him. We didn't really discuss religion. However, I think he'd be fine with me saying that I gave him a challenge coin, and I said that the string attached was at some point in the future we're going to have a discussion about religion. So
I have one of those challenge coins somewhere. I don't know. I think Allison put it away in my dresser or something. I need to look for it.
maybe that'll give you some hope for the future. But I understand why he's doing what he's doing, right? It's in the vein of many men down through history. You know, Hitler basically told the Protestants and the Roman Catholics, keep your squabbling somewhere else. We don't need it in the political movement. Bismarck told the Protestants and the Roman Catholics, keep your squabbling somewhere else. We don't need it in politics. The Prussian Union was him telling the Lutherans and the Reformed to stop squabbling. Religious infighting is a very difficult thing in a political movement, and it can send things off the rails very easily. So I understand why men who want to focus on the political don't necessarily want to deal with religion, right? So I don't think that it is something that you can entirely avoid. And the reason for that is very simple and also very complex. But I'll give the simple answer. The simple answer is this. A nation is blood, soil, myth. The biggest part of myth is religion. Your nation and your religion are identical to a certain extent. So you can't actually ignore the religion issue, the religion question forever. I recognize, again, what these men are doing, what Rousseau is doing, why he wants to do that. I don't even think he's necessarily wrong. But eventually the matter will have to be decided. Now, the goal, of course, is to win politically, and then we can, go back to having our infighting, because that's just humanity. There will always be divisions among you brothers, right? To paraphrase the words of Scripture. I don't think that ultimately the nationalist movement in the U.S. that is successful will be able to avoid religion entirely. And Patriot Front doesn't. They had a crucifix for their march. They're not avoiding religion. But like I said, I do know that most of the organization is Christian. Most of the members are Christian. Many of them are Stone Choir listeners. Many of them are probably listening to this as well. They follow me on X and elsewhere. I think that ultimately the Christian portion, and it is the majority, of the nationalist movement will win out. And I think that the pagans will come back into the fold as they see a more masculine, traditional Christianity take over from the moribund, wicked organizations that are all dying out anyway. So I think that the problem will by and large solve itself. There will be a few diehards here and there, but that's inevitable. There are always individuals who are outliers in that way. So I think join the organization. I think it is a good thing, and recognize what you're doing. As a Christian, you're just tilting that scale a little bit further in our direction, so that's a good thing. But, like I said, it's a discussion that will have to be had at some point. It's not something that can be avoided. It is important. I'm actually writing an essay on it right now. It's in a notebook down here, half written. Hopefully I'll get that published this coming week. But I don't think that it's going to be a big deal that they right now permit religious pluralism, as it were. I don't think he's going to permit, Hindus and Muslim.
The Orthodoxer sent $3 on Power Chat. This bald chud Protestant needs to shut up and join the One Holy Orthodox Miscegenation Church.
Dude, for me, like, and this is just me, okay? And I'm not as smart, and I don't know history as well as some of these people. But for me, it's like the Hitler thing really is a litmus test. You want to say you're the base church, but all your guys are whinging about Hitler? I'm going to go with the Protestants.
Ilmer Skulver Moniker sent $20 on YouTube. I want Mahler to get married and have babies, but he looks like Father Time. Buzz that hair and trim that beard, man.
Thank you. Thank you, Miss Cleaver Moniker, for the $20. Yeah, the beard's a bit, I don't, it is giving like religious monk a bit. And yeah, I'd like to see a Corey with a glow up, Corey with a makeover. Anyway, thank you for the 20.
right. He's basically just saying, I recognize that a certain
The Orthodoxer sent $3 on Power Chat. I'm still behind. Sorry.
Time traveler.
The only far-right, race realist Orthodox nationalist guy I know by name is Ben Michael. I think he would actually debate Mahler, but he's not very well known.
Ben Michael. Okay. Well, you know what's funny too is there was I saw this because I saw this in a reply to the Cleave to Antiquity tweet I just mentioned where he was kvetching about Hitler. Yeah, we should go to Turkey together. Me and Corey come back with like Zoom. We both have like the Zoomer curly thing. What is that hairstyle called? You know, the one where you're like skibbity. We both come back. We're like skibbity. There was like Orthodox monks who declared Hitler like the defender of some Greek mountain, and made like a, what do they call that? What do they call their little wooden things? Grok, is it true that there was Orthodox priests who almost venerated Hitler, or they made like those carvings out of him? I forget what they're called, and they declared him like the defender of Mount Athos or something like that.
Yes, it's true. In 1941, Mount Athos monks sent Hitler a letter asking for protection from Bulgarian occupation. A monk named Arsenios carved his image on wood with the inscription Adolf, the Great King. They also displayed his portraits in monasteries and called him the High Protector of the Holy Mountain.
Are those called icons when they carve it in wood? And would that be considered an icon of Hitler or no?
In Orthodox tradition, yes, a carved wooden image like that would be called an icon. Icons aren't limited to painted panels. They can be carved, engraved, or made in other media. So that monk's carving of Hitler with the inscription would technically qualify as an attempted icon of him.
Based?
Yeah, it's a pretty wild historical footnote. Shows how far some went to try to curry favor with whoever seemed like the new power.
Or maybe just the more godly option.
That's one charitable reading. Mount Athos had already lived under Ottoman rule for centuries, so the monks might have seen Hitler as the lesser evil compared to Stalin's atheism or Bulgarian.
Lesser evil. Cucked. So Corey says that Hitler is like a Christ-like figure, and I got this Orthodox dude kvetching and crying at me. Meanwhile, actual Orthodox monks who are part of the church and not fucking YouTubers are carving icons of Hitler.
The Orthodoxer sent $3 on Power Chat. Sorry you've been having a rough time with our autistic ranks in the orthosphere. Many priests will tell you that the online guys can really be pissants. Sorry,
I've heard
man. White heart emoji.
I've heard the
Orthodox cross emoji.
Church leadership isn't super happy about the situation.
Darth Will Smith sent $10 on YouTube. I've been waiting for an LP plus Jim Bob crossover for years. I love both of you as streamers, and I hate that you guys got off on such a bad foot. He'd be a great progress report guest.
I don't know the guy, but my gut tells me that we are going to hash it out and come to an understanding as Christian gentlemen. He seems like a reasonable guy, so I'm not, he was like in his message, he's like, whatever, we think Corey's trash, you think we're trash. Like, I'm good with that, because he didn't want to talk to me. He's like, let's just leave it at that. And I had to be like, dude, I don't think you're trash. I'm not even angry with you. I'm just kind of like kicking the tires on you to see what kind of man you are. Like, are you the kind of guy who's going to talk to me since you had a lot to say about me? Or are you not? I'm not mad yet, but if you refuse to talk to me, that's a different story. Anyway. Let's just finish this clip here.
Percentage of white men are fed up with the current state of the churches and have opted instead for what they're calling neo-paganism.
Soul Divider sent $3 on Power Chat. Bavaria was majority Catholic when took over. The idea that was Christian is so low IQ. He used Christianity as a tool, not an engine for NSDAP. You need to actually read about history instead of watching biased talk about Christianity.
So he used Christianity as a tool to accelerate the Nazi movement. Interesting. Sounds kind of based. If you're a fan of National Socialism. Okay, I want to address the comment from the person who was like, who cares about this? Like, the white race is going extinct, blah. It's like, okay, yeah, first of all, obviously, you know where my priorities are. I am not interested at all in autistic theological debates about doctrine. And I agree, there is more important things to talk about. And the fact that the same people who want to sit around and have autistic debates about doctrine, none of them are far right, with like Corey Mahler being like one of the only exceptions, which is why if I'm going to support anybody debating theology, it's Corey Mahler, because he's the only one in the entire bunch who is legitimately far right. And thereby legitimately addressing the pressing issues. Having said that, it's like this is an entertainment. We're all also just living our lives day to day, getting through the day, going to work, dealing with the stress and bullshit of life, and looking for distractions and entertainment. And that's what I'm here to provide. And it's not always going to be the most pressing existential issue every single second of the day. Yeah. All good. I'm just like giving my, cause I know like I've talked about this more than people want already, but I don't know. I'm not quite ready to just totally let it go yet. Anyway, let's keep going.
Won't go into the issue right now. And they're still white men. They're still my brothers. They want what is best for their nation, and they're Christians as well, so he's just not dealing with the issue. I don't have that luxury, right? And I don't want to get into it too much more deeply because, like I said, I'm writing an essay on it, and I'd rather just publish that. I don't have the luxury because I'm a theologian and a teacher, and so I am going to answer to God for the things I say and the things I fail to say. I don't get to be the above-the-fray politician. I'm involved in politics too, so there's a bit of both in my case, but that's why I don't avoid the issue, even though some men have said they would prefer if I were ecumenical and just dealt with the politics instead of dealing with the religion as well. I don't have the option. But like I said,
he doesn't have the option because no one else is doing it. They've made that point before on Stone Choir. It's like literally nobody else is doing this, so somebody has to.
In the organization, tilt it further in our favor with regard to the Christian membership. I think that's a good thing to do.
It's so funny, man. The two Coreys, like you got the podcast Corey and then Twitter. It's like, imagine listening to that and then saying, this guy's a fucking psychopath. Why would anybody want to talk to him? Versus like you see him on Twitter. He's like, yeah, we should kill every Muslim alive. And people, or Jew or whatever. And people are just like, whoa. That's why I replied to one of those tweets. I was like, yeah, Corey's about that life. That's like another meme. That's another thing people are like. Some guy was like in my comments being like, come fight me if you're really about that life. Come to my gym, my hypocrite. Some random guy. The one ortho bro who actually lifts was like, come to my gym if you're about that life. Now, an interesting and noteworthy point, and Corey said this, is that like the majority of people in Patriot Front are Christians. HT says, I'm pro-white and I worship a Jew. I really hope you guys wake up from this Jewish spell. Christians aren't white. Christians aren't white. Quite the take. You give up your white card when you become Christian. They will destroy the PF movement just like they have all previous movements. Christianity is a death knell to any organization. If you like Thanos snapped all of the Christians out of PF, that would instantly destroy Patriot Front. Because you'd be getting rid of like 75 of the people in the movement, 75%. And that's this weird point for the anti-Christian people that can never seem to wrap their head around. Is like, there is no right wing without Christianity. And there's certainly no far right without the Christians. Like, you want everybody to stop being Christian but keep being far right. I get that. But if all the Christians just walk away from the far right because they're not welcome, then guess what? Have fun losing 75% of your membership. That Amalek guy too was like kvetch. I kind of saw a tweet about it. I don't know if I can find him because I have him blocked. Here he is. Wait. He's following me? Is this the right? Crying about Gypsy Crusader? This is like the wrong account, I think. Oh, he's following me on his lurker. He's stalking. Need more Amalek. He was like, here, boo, this is exactly what I want. He's like kvetching so hard about Christian subversives, because Corey is saying, like, if you're a Christian, join Patriot Front and you'll just be one more guy tugging it in the right direction, right? My arch nemesis, one of them. In this clip, Corey Mahler openly tells E-Crusaders to join Patriot Front and tilt it further in our direction, while assuring everyone that the religious question can supposedly be settled later.
Mr. Bliss Chilling sent $3 on Power Chat, reflecting on the situation, thinking about who else was a psychopath. Saul, before he was Paul.
True.
Corey could be Artaxerxes' strongest soldier.
That's a good point.
Stoked for you to attend Divine Liturgy and talking with Jim Bob.
Thank you. Another piece of ammo for me to hit Jim Bob with. Thank you for that one. Hey, Jim Bob, you know who else was a little bit psychopathic? Guy called Saul. Ever heard of him? Little guy called Saul. Maybe you're familiar. That's a good one. He is doing the exact shit they constantly accuse us of doing. Critique religion as part of a broader critique of Abrahamism and Zionism, and they call us divisive, anti-white, and subversive. Meanwhile, Corey is explicitly instructing his listeners to enter a supposedly secular, religiously pluralist, nationalist organization and gradually Christianize it from within. He says the quiet part out loud. The Christian majority will eventually win. The pagans will return to the fold and the matter will have to be decided. Yeah, we might have to kill some of the diehards. Kidding. Although history does, that is a pattern in history. Every demand to stop discussing religion until after hypothetical future political victory is therefore completely disingenuous. Yeah, I mean, most Christians are happy to discuss religion. Like Corey's not telling you shouldn't discuss religion. He's saying that you shouldn't like accost Thomas Rousseau with demands to run his organization the way you want. That's what Corey is saying. They say unity now, religion later, with a knife behind their backs.
Anonymous sent $5 on Power Chat. Look, I'm Christian, but I'm actually not a fan of twisting faith into RW Chud ideology. I think if we need to approach things from a different angle. This isn't a crusade in black and white terms. The LARP has to cool down some. Thoughts?
I disagree with the characterization that scripture is being twisted into right-wing chud ideology. I think that, again, one of the strongest argument is that every Christian up until 70 years ago was a right-wing chud. Like every single one would be considered a far-right chud by today's standards, or at least 97% of them, So they're quite obviously compatible, but the problem is that progressivism, liberal progressivism, has completely won morality has been completely reshaped by progressive liberalism, which is, so now you have gay marriage and you know what I'm talking about. I don't need to explain that, but the point is also the church has been infected with that. And so if you want to get back to based world without throwing the baby out with the bathwater and saying, well, Christianity is cucked now, so we need to leave. We need to turn our backs on God. Then you actually do need to contend with the theology and explain to people and show people how it does jive. And Corey Mahler and Woe are the two best people at doing that. So I think those two guys are like extremely, extremely valuable to the movement. Anyway, so they promise unity now with the knife behind their backs while already forming religious cliques and moving the pieces into place to capture organizations from within. Is it really behind your back, though, if you're saying it in public? There's this funny thing where like Corey does like a public podcast. He says, yeah, I think you should, as a Christian, you should join Patriot Front and you should try to influence people, which is what a Christian should do anywhere they go. Try to set a good example that leads people to the light. You're saying this all out in public, and it's like he's got a knife behind his back. I mean, it's not secret if you're saying it in public. I'm not saying Patriot Front should ban Christians. I'm saying Christians should leave their Bibles and crosses at the door when entering an organization advertised as secular and focused on white political interests. If your real mission is to convert the membership and capture the organization.
King Jewish Ultimate Hand sent $3 on Power Chat. To say faith alone is Jewish because it promotes degenerate activity is obviously false. The Puritans believed in faith alone and were the most strict Christians. It's the Greenites and pagans who are foreigners and degenerates, not Protestants.
Yeah, so this is a rehash from the Saturday call-in show for anybody who missed it. King Jewish is trying to Calvinism pill me, and somebody said that that's Jewish. And again, this stuff is like so pedantic. We all know what it means to be a good Christian man. This pedantic thing about how like if you know what it means to be a good righteous man, but if you like phrase the doctrine wrong in your head, you're going to hell. I don't know. I don't think God's that strict. I don't think God's that worried about. I don't think he treats it like he's a third grade teacher giving a grammar test. You know what I'm saying? Could be wrong, but that's just me and the Holy Spirit talking to me. You're a subversive. If your mission is to convert the membership and capture the organization, you're the subversive. I've had current and former members complain to me about this exact problem, and I've mostly kept my mouth shut. The organization presents itself as open to secular men, Christians, and pagans, Yet Christian cliques form internally and begin treating it like another mission field. Yeah, and I said the same thing about Return to the Land when I was kind of like giving my, listening to them explain the whole project, and they are the same as Patriot Front. You can be, actually, do they allow atheists? You can definitely be pagans. I think they might not let atheists. So maybe it's not quite exactly the same. Grok, does Return to the Land allow atheists to live there?
According to their official Substack, Return to the Land doesn't have a blanket ban on atheists. They prefer people develop spiritual beliefs, but secular or confused applicants are usually welcomed.
Okay.
However,
Okay, so Return to the Land is basically has essentially the same policy as Patriot Front, unless Grok is mistaken there. Somebody in the chat just said no atheists allowed, but apparently that's not necessarily true. And what I said at the time was like, well, there's going to be disunity because of that. And you're going to have fighting and religious conflicts and stuff. And it's like, imagine you buy a plot. Imagine you have you're a Christian man with a husband, a wife, and Christian man with a husband. Imagine you're a Christian man with a family, a wife and a children, and you buy a house to go live on Return to the Land, and your neighbor has like some weird fucking like pagan idol up in their yard, you know what I mean? Some cow head on a stick or whatever with like weird runes carved on it and shit. It's like that's gonna create issues necessarily. And it's something that would concern me as somebody, if I was thinking about going there. I was like, well, what am I getting into exactly? Is my neighbor going to be a weirdo? I've had current and former members. Okay, we read that. Corey effectively admits that nationalism is secondary to his theology. I mean, that's... Corey says we need to win politically first, and then we can hash out the myth. And your interpretation is that theology is more important. That's not a very charitable interpretation from a guy who is... Corey was literally saying, like, yeah, strategically you want to leave the bickering out of the politics. Like, Corey is actually saying all that. But Corey says this one little thing about join and pull them in your direction. And like, that's like, he's talking like over long term, and also just like again, I say this all the time, but the best sort of proselytizing, if that's the right word, that a Christian can do, in my opinion, is just leading by example and having a good, have your shit together as a man. I swear a lot more than I should, which is not good, but do as I say, not as I do. Have your stuff together. Have all your ducks in a row. I got to start talking like Flanders. Have all your ducks in a row, and people see that and they think, this guy must know something. Luckily, he's an uncharismatic freak with no real institution behind him. The guy can't remain in a church without eventually getting kicked out, yet imagines that the churches he despises are about to collapse and his internet sect will inherit Christianity. What a fucking joke. This guy's always so mad. He's always just seething. Virtually every established church has more institutional power and a better understanding of the Bible than Corey Mahler. They reject it, again, 2,000 years of history that would disagree with that. They reject his attempt to intrinsically fuse Christianity with white identity, and we should reject it too. The Bible he claims to teach does not support racial nationalism either. So what political utility is there in tolerating this? These guys already lost the debate against Corey and then just pretend like that didn't happen. The fact that all they do is be like vegan sharks. They're like, oh, vegan, like that's just actually an admission that you lost the debate about nationalism. His grand strategy ends with his followers being condemned, expelled, or excommunicated by the very religion they've made the center of their political identity, exactly as happened to him. What institutions can you join as an avowed racist and not be condemned? Like, yeah, you could join Patriot Front. Little clue about Patriot Front. They wear masks and hide their identities. And they do that for a reason. What's a mainstream institution you can join where you can openly, without having to be anonymous, avow yourself as a racist and not get kicked out? This is the thing they always ignore. They act like this is something unique to modern churches. Like there's all these other based groups you can join where you don't have to fucking put a mask on in order to avoid having your life completely ruined. Any black run thing? Yeah, that's true. I should have specified as a white man. Listening Lakeside? Fuck you, man. What do you mean listening Lakeside?
Not even supposed to be here today. Fuck! I'm not even supposed to be here today. I'm not even supposed to be here today. Oh, fuck you.
Working on my day off.
Yeah, I should have specified as the proper kind of racist. Any organization that tolerates this behavior will eventually be treated as territory to capture by people whose first loyalty is to Jesus, not their nation or the group's stated political goals. False dichotomy. They're one and the same. That's the whole... This is how they lost the debate, is trying to ignore that those are one and the same. That loyalty to God is also loyalty to your nation, which is a theme throughout the Bible. So subversive, says Adam Green. And look, I haven't even looked at this. Look at here. Here's big tech posting about vegan sharks, right? They don't, not posting about Corey's response to the questions of nationalism, but posting about how Corey said that if there were sharks in the Garden of Eden, which is a big if, then they would have been vegans according to the, they would have eaten plants according to scripture, because there was no death. There was no animal death before the fall. Anyway. What else? What is this? I don't know what that is. Corey Mahler on the topic of genocide. So Corey Mahler's a psychopath because he is open-minded. He's a lot more open-minded than the average person living in modernity when it comes to the topic of genocide. And here he gets asked about that.
Are we permitted to engage in a holy war? I say the answer is yes, but it again is a matter of wisdom. It is something that should be undertaken with due deliberation and in accordance with God's commands and word. You have so many who want to...
Again, the irony is that there's Orthodox priests blessing a holy war as we speak. They literally blessed nukes. The priests from the Russian Orthodox Church blessed a bunch of Russian nukes that if those nukes fall, they're falling on white Christian countries, just so you know.
Anonymous sent $3 on Power Chat. Again, I'm Christian. But Judd's trying to hand out copies of Mein Kampf after service is not a winning strategy. These guys were doing the BDW.
Well, okay, why don't, since you know how to win, maybe lead with that. We all want to win, so since you have all the answers, why don't you let us know what, it's one thing to say what you're doing wrong, but it's another thing to say what you should be doing. And if somebody handed me a free copy of Mein Kampf, that would be like the highlight of my day. So I can't relate.
Spiritualize away the passages about the conquest of Canaan. And you can't do that because it's
Yeah, I'm not making that up. Russian Orthodox priests blessing nuclear weapons. Hey, thank you, Peyton.
Peyton Beasley 3524 sent $19.99 on YouTube. ESP donation.
Appreciate that. Thank you very much. So the same people calling you a psychopath are members of this church. Yeah, oh my chud. Oh my chud. You know, again, I'm not even clutching my pearls about this. I don't have to. I think genocide is on the table, frankly. So did God, if you read your Bible. God also thought that was something that was on the table. I shouldn't use past tense, but you know what I mean.
history. It's a history book. These events
Did anyone tell them nukes aren't real?
transpired as recorded. You can't spiritualize.
They were passing out hardcover, autographed by Hitler copies of Mein Kampf. Original editions.
Them away. And so you have to accept the fact that God occasionally commands genocide. And he commands it as a punishment for wickedness, and he commands
the Nazis been poisoned too deeply. That's fine. That's fine. I'm not saying we should like that Patriot Front should have swastika banners. I'm not saying that.
that the righteous enact it on his behalf. And God doesn't change. So I don't think that the people who try to argue it away by saying, well, that was then, right? Oh, that was then, okay. You're making the exact same argument as the people who say that homosexuality is fine now because...
Yeah, this is kind of the point I was just making. Like, if genocide... If you think genocide is a sin inherently, then you're saying God is guilty of sin.
Sodom and Gomorrah was, oh, that was then.
I'm using the term genocide loosely just to mean killing a bunch of people, not necessarily obliterating an entire bloodline. That's why, like, you know, there's a genocide in Gaza that took place. There's a genocide in the Ukraine that's taken place. White people are being genocided slowly and deliberately all across the globe.
No, God doesn't change. And nations that worship demons...
How does any of that relate to Christ? Well, I don't know exactly what that is, but listen to Stone Choir, start to finish. If that's a genuine question and you actually want to know, go listen to Stone Choir, start to finish. And then if you're still confused after that, then you can come talk to me.
...are still an abomination to God, and if he gives them into your hands...
Yeah, Passover is a religious holiday that celebrates genocide. That's true. It's not really a Christian holiday, but still.
If he delivers them into your hands, it is your duty to destroy them. Because God has given them to you.
God, yeah, but God acts through people. I know that's sketchy territory to say that, you know, God is acting through me right now. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying God, there's an example in the Bible where God like uses one nation to destroy another. So it's God doing it, and it's also people doing it.
And God has given them to you partly as a test. And it's one of the ways that, quite frankly, Europeans failed historically, because we kept a lot of rank demon worshippers around and let them go right back to worshiping their demons. I think it's one of the reasons that we're currently being judged. There is a political and a geopolitical element to Christianity, and it is something that has been ignored for far too long.
Okay. Mr. Eugenics. Also, this is kind of neither here nor there, but Owen Benjamin has been going off about Jay Dyer, just making fun of like the way he talks and stuff. And somebody posted this clip, and this was alluded to earlier, that there's like people in the Orthodox Church are kind of, I don't know how true this is. I've just heard chatter about it, that they're like upset with the whole Ortho Bro YouTube debate scene, which it doesn't surprise me at all after talking to that Cleave to Antiquity guy for 10 minutes. It's like I said, it's like you got this guy who is like chomping at the bit for you to make some kind of theological mistake so he can ridicule you in front of 1,000 people and get super chats and make money laughing about how you're going to hell. You know, I was like, this does not feel Christian particularly. I'm not going to call it like demonic or satanic, but it doesn't feel particularly Christian from my brief experience. Anyway, so here's this like Orthodox priest guy saying, he doesn't say Jay Dyer, but this is the guy who posted it, says he's talking about Jay Dyer, that he doesn't go to church at all.
Mistake. We wouldn't have had that 10 years ago, because it's just, where else, who could you turn to other than like books, really, online? Now it's explosion online. And again, if you're not careful, and I won't mention who this is or where they are, but it's someone particular in mind, they'll turn to someone they think, look at, they're spiritual, they're really Orthodox. And I know for a fact they don't go to church. They don't go to church. Not that they miss church, they don't go. And you're trusting that person who's not long in the faith either. They're young in the faith and they don't go to church, to give you guidance. So
that's what I said. They're chomping at the bit with their teeth, chomping with their teeth at the bit. And then somebody else, this was like from a recent debate challenge against Jay Dyer, and I just thought this was, this is petty, I'm sorry, but I did laugh when I watched this.
700 people in here, and we've had 2 super chats. So is everybody just like stingy all of a sudden? Nobody wants to support the show anymore? What's going on?
Bro, just keep $1. If you got a super chat $1, just keep it, man.
And if I take calls, people won't
$1.
do super chats. So I'll lose all the money that I would get from super chats if I take calls.
Bunch of cheapos, no super chats, especially high value, high end super chats. We're talking like $100, $200, $500.
Why does he sometimes sound like he has a southern redneck accent, and then sometimes is like, is he? I don't know, whatever. But you heard that, right? You heard the weird southern things suddenly show up out of nowhere, and then other clips it's completely gone.
Especially high value, high end super chats. We're talking like $100, $200, $500. Right? Do that right now.
So we've only got 1 super chat. So I thought everybody loved the streams. With, I guess nobody loves us anymore. We're no longer loved. Where's all the streamers? Where the super chatters at? We got Stingy Night. Utilize that beautiful super chat function there to send me your super chats. Somebody send me a super chat. Seems like everybody's gotten a little stingy on super chats. Are y'all giving super chats, or y'all being stingy now?
Are y'all? I mean, maybe it's just like, maybe he does redneck the same way I do wigger sometimes. I'm not saying it's like some kind of act. It could just be like an affectation. It's just kind of an interesting affectation. But it's, you know, it's like I'll get more wiggerish sometimes and then go back to being white. So I kind of get it. It's just kind of interesting.
By the way, somebody send a super chat so we make sure that the super chats aren't broken. Hey, I'm back. And you can show your love for me by giving me love points, aka money. We got 1 measly super chat. Nobody wants to keep the show afloat. Where y'all at? This thing here is my Bitcoin wallet, dog.
I don't even care. It's like whatever. It's just kind of
$3 on Power Chat. Jay Dyer knows the ortho ways. Meanwhile, Nick talks about Laura Loomer and gets
That's so
10K
true,
per night.
Nathaniel. Brother Nathaniel also hates Jay Dyer. A lot of people don't like this guy. So this is from this video debate challenge. This is from a month ago. So this was from before even the Tucker Carlson thing happened.
Hey, Jay Dyer. I heard you're retired.
Yeah, Jay announced he was retiring from debate. I don't know who this guy is, but this is like I instantly just assume that all of these Christian debate bros are racial cuckolds who would like kvetch about Hitler and wring their hands about Hitler and stuff like that. And so it's like that's what I mean. Is like, imagine watching two people like that argue about religion. It's like none of these people are gonna really like solve our problems.
He posted on X, riding the line between talking theology, doing debates, and all the other issues like geopolitics, lit, satire has been an odd thing. For some, it is confusing. For others, not an issue. However, after 10 years of mixed content, I feel that the time of online theology debate for me has come to a close.
It's almost like his priest did talk to him and was like, hey, Jay, brother, why don't you just stick to talking about the Rothschilds and the Freemasons? People love that shit. Leave the religion to us. But he says nobody told him to say that. But anyway, it lasted like a couple weeks either way.
No one has of yet told me to say this. It's a decision I've pondered for a while. I would rather focus on other topics I find interesting, and religion is authentically at the parish level, not online anyway. It seems as if online theology debate is pretty much done. Onward to producing fun content on other subjects. Weird how just last month you and your whole cringe collective were telling me I have to debate you on the true church. I'm not allowed to focus on refuting Islam and sharing the gospel with Muslims. People like me can't be trusted at all until we debate the true church. So, as of last month,
Soul Divider sent $3 on Power Chat. All Dyer does is debate people on the transcendental argument for God, expecting no one to know what that is. Not a serious person.
He's terrified of Corey Mahler. Just absolutely terrified.
Most important topic in online debate, according to you and the entire Ortho-Dweeb dynasty, is the true church. Yet here we are just a month later, and you do
our struggle is collective, not personal like religion. No, Corey, so I don't know if you're late here, but Corey already explained that a nation is blood, soil, and myth also. And you might not have heard that before. I'm sure you've heard blood and soil. You've probably heard blood and soil a lot. Maybe you've never heard blood, soil, myth. Maybe that's new to you. Does it not make sense? When you hear that, does it not instinctively track? The nation we live in now, people have said this before, but the founding myth of our nation, America, is World War II. And I know America is older than World War II, but it was reforged. The founding myth was reforged in the decades after World War II. And that's like the thing we're all trying to get past now.
Complete 180 and proclaim religion is authentically at the parish level, not online anyway. It seems as if online theology debate is pretty much...
They're chimping at the bit. I love how I jokingly was like, yeah, no, I'm chomping with my teeth. And then there was like 12 people who were like, LP, actually it's champing at the bit. I could care less. Hey, how about that? I could care less what you guys think it is.
Done? How was the true church the topic that mattered most last month, whereas now it's something that...
I don't actually want to watch this 23-minute video. I'm sure he makes good, compelling arguments. We'll just move on. Enough Jay Dyer drama for one day. Sorry. This show is not becoming the Jay Dyer show, but that was like my whole week, the past week. So needed to sort of do some house cleaning on that. That's done. I don't plan to come back to this until 3 weeks from now, give or take, when I talk to Jim Bob. Let's move on. I triggered a whole bunch of comic book fans with my reaction to the new Marvel trailer. So there's a new Marvel movie coming out called Adventure Doomsday. And it's really long. It's like 2.5 minutes. I don't really want to play the whole trailer, but we'll do like half of it.
Something we may not be able to deter. Before this day is done, we shall be faced with an unthinkable decision.
I've fought with many warriors in my time. They were far stronger than all of us put together, and they died. They died facing enemies and threats that scared me far less than this one.
The Dire Diaries.
Everything that they sacrificed will be for nothing if we do not stand together. Put aside your petty squabbles.
Scarlett Johansson. Didn't she? And wait, is the chick who plays Mystique is the chick from Resident Evil, right? Who plays Mystique? Rebecca Ramjan. That's not who I was thinking of. She's smoking though, or she was back in the day. Why did I think it was the Resident Evil actress? What's her name? Like Natasha something? She's Russian, right? I thought was she never in the Marvel universe? Anyway.
Assume nothing except this. If you return.
Dude, they got I see. I thought the X-Men was like owned by Fox, and that's why they got it all back now, right? That's why they got the Avengers, or sorry, the Fantastic Four, and all that. It's because Marvel, or what is it, Disney, I guess, finally got all the rights back to all these other characters. Mila Jovovich, yeah. Why did I think her name was Natasha? Anyway. Why did I think she played Mystique? Is that am I wrong? I'm wrong, right?
You will return as brothers and sisters.
She did it in the 90s. Yeah, Fifth Element. She's a smoke show too. Okay. Rebecca Ramjan, and then Jennifer Lawrence.
Mark my words.
Okay. This is the part in the trailer that gave me pause. So you got Doctor Doom here, and then you got Thor trying to smash him with his...
Mark my words.
And Doom is like Neo or whatever. And now look, I haven't read comic books since the 90s when I was a teenager, but I read a bunch of comic books in the 90s when I was a teenager. And Doctor Doom is like basically a Lex Luthor ripoff, complete with power suit, which Lex Luthor also dons power suits at some point. And his like superpower is genius, and he would like build robots and shit trying to like fight the Fantastic Four, and the Fantastic Four would kick his ass. He's Latvian Lex Luthor. with basically no powers. And so I was like, what is going on here? How is Doctor Doom stopping Thor's hammer with his fingers? And I said, don't remember Doctor Doom being so powerful. Seems like they just want another Thanos. You know, seems like they just power creeped Doom up to make him super powerful so that they could have another excuse to get the whole gang together, get all the heroes back together. We need every single hand on deck, including the X-Men this time. Whoa. Doom played by Robert Downey? No. Who plays Doctor Doom? It is Robert Downey? So I take it Iron Man's not in. That's so funny. They got the same guy who played Iron Man. So like, look, Robert Downey Jr. is great. He's a great actor, but surely we could find somebody who doesn't already exist in the universe to play the character. I mean, I guess if with enough makeup and whatever else, it's fine. I guess he's mostly masked up anyway. It's not even real Doom. It's alternate dimension Tony Stark Doom. Oh, well, that makes sense why Robert Downey Jr. is playing it then. Anyway, it's just funny how everybody's like crawling up my ass in the replies. This guy, he's like somewhere in the last 10 years, Doom became stupid strong. In the 2000s, he started to get some magical powers. Then in the last decade, he became God. And I was like, oh, okay. I read him in the 90s and he was basically just Lex Luthor. But like so many people were like so mad. You're not a comic book fan. You're a tourist. Doom has bested Thanos. Be lucky Storm isn't in the film as far as we know. Otherwise, her comic and X-Men 97 accurate version would have you crying about wokeness for being the most powerful X-Men. LOL.
Flames of the sun, source of all creation, I summon a tempest of fire and light.
That's the funniest part. They're like, you're not a real comic book fan. I'm like, yeah, I'm a grown man. Thank you. Thank you. Anyway, I just thought that was funny. He's always been a Thanos level bad guy. That's objectively false. Also, when I said Thanos, I'm obviously referring to the Infinity Gauntlet Thanos. Thanos with the Infinity Gauntlet was like invincible. That was the whole point of the story. So you would need every hand on deck, and even then you still wouldn't have a way to win unless you somehow outsmarted him or tricked him or whatever. And that was what I was saying, is like, oh, they're just like, you know, once you do that, it's like impossible to go bigger than that. So then you just have to like run that same story again. Some guy with godlike powers that we can't beat, but we have to find a way to beat him. But Doctor Doom has not always been that guy. That's
Soul Divider sent $3 on Power Chat. Downey Jr. isn't Doom. I think Doom subverts by using his face.
Okay. But he is Doom. Downey Jr. is the actor playing Doom. So what do you mean Downey Jr. isn't Doom? The actor. I guess I know what you mean, actually. Okay, you know what? I take that back. You're saying Downey Jr. is Iron Man in that universe, and he's not Doom. Okay, you know what? That does make sense. J.D. Vance had a new son. He announced the birth of his son, Alec Neil Vance. And 9mm said, had to name him Neil instead of Neil with an A. And then this person pointed out that Neil in Sanskrit means blue, which is like a holy color in the Hindu tradition. That's why they depict their gods with blue skin. So it's like, dude, you're a Catholic guy and you're like naming your son after Hindu demons, basically. That's crazy. Congratulations. Congratulations. That's good. That's funny. All right, moving on. I believe it was Friday, we went over the latest breaking news in the Charlie Kirk, Tyler Robinson saga, which was that Tyler Robinson had dinner at a restaurant at a certain place there at a certain time, which was not the right time for where he was supposed to be when he was texting in Orem. Not that those were at the same time, but the distance between the two places was too great for the timeline to jive. And there was like an interview with the waiter and posted the receipt. Candace Owens said, I have the receipt, like proving what time Tyler Robinson was there and all this. This whole story is falling apart. And it appears to be like just a hoax, just a complete fabrication. So this guy, Mr. Exclusive, he says, breaking news, Charlie Kirk investigation update, the steakhouse. I've just gotten off the phone with Mr. Perkins, the owner of Cowboy Steakhouse, and he confirmed the following to me directly. According to Mr. Perkins, Tyler Robinson did not eat at Cowboy Steakhouse. It has been officially verified to him from law enforcement, and he is sure himself. Mr. Perkins also addressed the receipt that has been circulating on X. He told me the receipt being shared, receipt is not Tyler Robinson's receipt or the one thought to possibly be Tyler Robinson's, nor is it the receipt shared with investigators. Mr. Perkins was polite, but clearly has been bombarded with calls. He told me people need to use some common sense. I don't know if the receipt is a legitimate receipt, but it's not the receipt in question. He did not call anyone a liar. However, he did tell me that many reporters, investigators coming into the steakhouse could easily get a receipt. Mr. Perkins made it clear Tyler Robinson did not eat at his restaurant. I have always believed in going directly to the source. So there's that. And then they also put out on their Facebook page official statement, Cowboy Smokehouse statement on Tyler Robinson investigation. Based on the information currently available to us, we have no evidence establishing whether Tyler Robinson was at our restaurant on September 10th. We have responded truthfully to those who have questioned us based on the information available to us. We have fully cooperated and will continue to cooperate with the authorities. But because this is an active matter, cannot and will not comment further. And all the comments are turned off on all their posts. So they're not actually saying he wasn't there, but they're saying that they can't confirm that he was there. This guy, Mr. Exclusive, wanted to bet $1 million to Candace Owens. He says, my favorite bets in life are the ones I know I can't lose. That's quoting Candace. Oh, please, Candace, I would think your followers would make sure to see this because you're so confident. I have no problems with Viva Frey escrowing the money or anyone he chooses. I have offered to place $1 million in escrow that says, 1, you do not have a real receipt that the actual Tyler Robinson was there. Tyler Robinson, the accused killer of Charlie Kirk, did not eat there. And 3, you do not have legitimate banking records that correspond to the receipt that belong to Tyler Robinson as you claim. So Candace is claiming she has like his banking records showing that his credit card was used there. My favorite bets in life are the ones I know I can't lose. Be sure to save this tweet. The restaurant does not have operable cameras, so the owner most certainly cannot definitively state that Tyler was at his restaurant. I can tell you definitively that there were 3 servers on. The server that actually served Tyler Robinson was certain it was him and reported it to management when Tyler's face was blasted across the news. The owner then checked the server's claim by pulling the receipts and discovered at the very least someone with the name of Tyler Robinson had paid with his credit debit card exactly when the server had said he did. The restaurant then reported that transaction to the feds. The receipt that has been posted is real. So this guy's betting Candace Owens $1 million. And it doesn't seem like she's responding. So my gut, what I think happened is that Tyler Robinson didn't eat at the bullshit, at the steakhouse, at the restaurant, and like people are just making stuff up. That's probably what happened. Your server witness is anonymous. His identity's not revealed. So we can't even know for real if that's even an actual server at the restaurant, although it did appear to be because he's wearing like a uniform of sorts. But that could also just be a t-shirt you could buy, maybe. I don't know. Would people really go this far out of their way? Like buy a t-shirt, impersonate a server? Also, if that was the case, wouldn't the owner say that guy's not a server? So I don't know, man. Maybe the server's just mistaken. It is weird. But what is the other explanation? That the feds are lying, that Tyler Robinson was there, and that the feds told the restaurant owner to say he wasn't. But the restaurant owner can prove it because he has the receipt. Seems kind of unlikely. And then this guy, Diligent Denizen, this is the one who posted the video talking to the waiter. I guess he had drug charges back in 2014, which is like kind of whatever. That's a long time ago, but do with that what you will. I don't really care. If they actually if that is all just totally fabricated, that's crazy. Yeah, the restaurant supposedly doesn't have cameras, and something that has happened as a result of this now is that Candace Owens' insane fans are like trying to get the restaurant's liquor license taken away. Because apparently you need to have cameras as part of your liquor license. So they're trying to ruin this guy's life now because they're accusing him of being in on the cover-up because he's saying that Tyler Robinson wasn't there, that they can't establish that he was there. And some of these people are also really going all in on the Charlie Kirk is still alive. Apparently he's living in a compound in New Zealand.
Retreat. It's actually like a 10-acre retreat. It's near Goat Island. Yeah.
Dude, honestly, if I'm right and Charlie's alive and he's at a compound because all I ever do is I just go, what would I do? It's like self-sustaining, solar-powered compound with all of the things to where if the rest of the world ceased to exist, we're solid and we're good forever. Right here, that's what I would build. That's where I'd be. And if that is where he's at, but that's in New Zealand, that makes me extremely concerned. I would feel much better if he was in Montana because I'd be like, why the fuck aren't you in Montana, dude? Right? Like, what do you know that I don't know? Why are you? What you know what I mean? No one's gonna find you in Montana.
They're going to nuke Montana. The Jews are going to nuke Montana. Oh my God. Charlie Kirk's in New Zealand so he can avoid the fallout.
Either, or no one's going to find you in like deep Colorado. Why are you there? It's like, you know, if the answer is nuclear war, I'd be like,
this is
like, God damn it.
So predictable.
I got to get out of here, man. I got to move to Argentina.
I had to listen to this before, but it's like obvious that he's implying something like that, right? I mean, in all fairness, it could have been weather modification. They could be hitting Montana with a tsunami as well. That was also an option on the table, but I went for nukes and happened to guess correctly. This guy's Project Constitution, this is the same guy that was saying that he had proof that Erica Kirk was finding girls for Epstein. It's like some of these people really should be publicly flogged at some point. I really think some of these people deserve a public flogging. Look, I'm as free speech as the next guy, but if you get caught lying over and over and over again and making a bunch of people mentally ill, maybe you should get caned in public. Moving on, the Tate brothers arrested in Miami. And I'm not super clear, but I think these are for UK charges and extradition to the UK, which if true is like really bad news. That's the last place I would expect to get a fair trial if I'm the Tate bros. You get a more fair trial in Romania than you'll get in the UK as a misogynist. I would not want to go in trial for the crime of being a misogynist in the United Kingdom. So here's video of the arrest.
Mr. Tate, would you mind signing?
Hey, Tate.
TMZ conveniently on scene to film the arrest. This guy, I think, works for Duel. Don't quote me on that, but I think this guy might be the guy who owns Duel, the gambling casino, the online casino.
Chop sent $3 on Power Chat. If you believe the evidence and narrative presented by the FBI about Charlie Kirk, then it follows you also believe Epstein offed himself and the files are a Democrat hoax. If you believe one but not the other, why?
It's kind of a long one that I don't really want to get
Coastal
into.
Reaction sent $3 on Power Chat. The Kirk makes me appreciate the movie Under the Silver Lake more. That
is a good movie. I like that movie. I put that on my movie list, and then I realized later that Mystery Grove has it on his movie list, and I wanted to avoid copying any of his. It's very, very unlikely that Epstein killed himself, but I disagree that it follows that I can believe Tyler Robinson shot Charlie Kirk and also believe that Epstein was murdered. I disagree that those are mutually exclusive worldviews or cognitive dissonance or whatever. And I'm not going to make my case because you haven't made a case either. And that's not an invitation. Please don't. Who's Jay Waller?
Back up.
Well, part of the thing that makes it really hard to believe that Epstein killed himself is just the physics of it. And I know that sounds similar to the Charlie Kirk thing, but it's different. Again, I don't want to repeat myself over and over again, but I saw on video a giant hole appear in Charlie Kirk's neck that looked like he got shot in the neck. That's what it looked like. That's what it sounded like. And according to the official FedSlop narrative, that's what it is. So if I saw a video of Epstein hanging himself, that would be a little bit more compelling that maybe he killed himself. In the same way I saw a video of Charlie Kirk getting shot in the neck. And there's video of the guy on the roof with the, so it's, you know, anyway.
Guys, back on.
So this is him getting arrested. We don't need to watch 3.5 minutes of that. They're calling it the most heterosexual arrest of all time. What happened here? Not a good picture of Tristan. He's better dressed than Andrew, but he kind of like has like a little bit of an Amerimut thing happening in the face here, more so than usual. Let's see what they say. Are these American charges or is this extradition? What's happening? U.S. Marshals carried out the arrest. The brothers have had legal trouble for years, including spending several months in a Romanian prison. In early 2023, they were indicted on sex trafficking charges in the Eastern European country.
Monk_brain sent $3 on Power Chat. White Excellence update. Scottish runner Josh Kerr just broke the mile world record.
Yes, thank you. I did include that clip in YCSP last night. So I have it in the white people posting W's folder as well. But I wasn't planning to go over it again. But we did have that clip in YCSP. So yeah, shout out to Josh Kerr. Fastest people alive? Yeah, we're white. Yeah, they're white. Sex trafficking charges returned to the United States in 2025. In early April that year, the brothers are facing legal issues in the United Kingdom where 21 charges have been authorized. So this doesn't say what they were arrested for, but we have, here we go. They're calling it the most heterosexual arrest of all time. We have the CBS to give us all the deets.
Tonight, British authorities are seeking the extradition of Andrew and Tristan Tates.
This is what I'm trying to figure out. Were they arrested to be extradited, or are they being charged in the U.S.? This is the question I'm trying to get to.
The prominent influencers in the so-called manosphere were arrested by federal marshals in Miami. CBS's Christian Benavidez is there with details on the new charges. Christian.
Good evening, Jerika. The Tate brothers were taken into custody as they were heading to a boxing event that one of them was set to co-host here in Miami. They've indicated that they're likely going to fight those extradition charges back to the United Kingdom.
U.S. Marshals arrested notorious social media influencers Andrew and Tristan Tate in Miami on Saturday, stemming from recent developments in the UK. Authorities there, who already had a case against the duo, say 4 more alleged victims of the brothers came forward with accusations of rape, sex trafficking, assault, child and extreme pornography,
bringing the total number of charges faced to 59. The charge.
They're fucked, man. If they get extradited, their only chance is to beat the extradition. If they get sent to the UK, they're never going to see the light of day again, other than when they're in court. Other than when they have their day in kangaroo court, it's over if they get extradited to the UK. They're already guilty in the eyes of the authorities of the UK, so good luck with that.
Charges relate to 7 victims.
Hate to say I told you so, but I warned Andrew Tate 5 years ago. It was already too late by the time I warned him. In all fairness, he was all the the crimes, the damage was already done, but still.
Victims spanning a period from
I guess that was like 8 years ago now, or no, 7 years ago. Yeah. Time flies, man.
2010 to 2017.
The men are part of the so-called manosphere, boasting millions of followers and selling online courses on masculinity. In 2022, the Tate brothers were arrested in Romania on rape, human trafficking, and sexual exploitation charges. The case did not go to trial but remains open. Last year, the brothers left Romania for Florida, and state officials announced a probe into their activity. The Tate brothers deny all allegations. Their attorney tells CBS News the world knows Andrew and Tristan Tate are innocent.
We've yet to be convicted of any crime in our lives ever.
The Tate brothers are set to face a judge as early as tomorrow. Legal experts have said that this will likely be a lengthy legal battle over extradition. Jarika.
Christian Benavides in Miami.
So a study published in JAMA found that even after the shortage
of the extradition, or they're fucked. They're really fucked. Oh, you thought Romania was corrupt and unfair? No, try the UK. Seven rape charges for Andrew Tate, 3 charges trafficking, sexual exploitation, assault, occasional bodily harm, images of child and extreme pornography, 19 charges. Yeah, that's going to be rough. Sorry, I just got to post something. Okay. Ludwig, who is a big Twitch streamer, a big streamer, he made a little video breaking down the financials of his career. And this is sort of in reference to, when people are saying that, like, I'm like fucking like a Israel shill. I'm on the Israeli payroll because I criticize Candace Owens or whatever. And I said that like you're so stupid if you think that, because I can't even get sponsorships. And I also pointed out, like when we were talking about the quartering and his financials, that sponsorships is where the real money is. That's like when you've made it, when you've got regular sponsorships. That's how I know that like Actual Justice Warrior makes way more money than I make, because he gets sponsorships on all his videos. But so here is Ludwig breaking that down, how much he earns and where it comes from.
$59,000.
Oh, you want to watch the LP and Tate stream? There was 2 episodes of Sex Wars with Tate, and you can find them anywhere you can find Sex Wars. So search Sex Wars, and it's literally just Sex Wars. It should come up. Let's test. Or you could put Sex Wars Tate to make it. Maybe not. It didn't come up. I overestimated. But if you put like Sex Wars, Hypocrite, Tate, there's the podcast comes up. The video, if you want to watch the video, like it's on at Odyssey, right? Like here's the episode with Brittany Sellner. And sometimes these old Odyssey episodes don't play that well, but go to content and put Tate in this little box right here. And then you got it right here. Sex Wars 26 and Sex Wars 14. 26 is the one where I told him he was going to end up in jail. And that was streamed October 2020. I thought it was 2019. So it was 6 years ago. I told him he was going to jail. Well, I said he would catch a charge, were my exact words.
Wow. This was just for the month of June, yes. Question.
That's exactly what a 9 to 5 are making a year, but yours is good.
That is way more than most 9 to 5 makers in a year, yeah. All right, now's the fun part, guys. Now's the fun part. How much do you get to make? How much do you get to make, y'all? All right, this was the event that I did, by the way. That's why some of the costs were higher. The payroll's normal. I did an event called MCSR Ranked. World Championships is a Minecraft speedrunning event. Anyway, let's talk about how much I made. How did I pay for all of that? Well, good news for me. Merch sales. I got $7,800. Wow. Not bad. YouTube. That's just the YouTube revenue. This includes YouTube live streams, shorts, and videos. 270,000.
Holy shit.
Twitch gonna be smaller for me, guys. I do not make as much on Twitch. 57,000. I only run about 6 minutes of ads an hour. I have 9,500 subs. That's about what you make for that. The biggest bulk of my money, though, I made a pivot in my life. I decided I wanted to stop being viewer funded. All right, I did a subathon. Had the most subs any streamer did. I had like an average of 20, 30,000 subscribers. I ran a higher density of ads. And then I said, you know what? I don't feel good as a multimillionaire getting these people to pay me money. I didn't like getting 100 gifts. It made me feel weird. I'm gonna start pivoting to get most of my bread from sponsors. That's the biggest cut of this. Okay, I'm a Red Bull athlete. I have an AT&T sponsorship, and I also have an Alienware partnership. These are long-term partnerships. All right, and I do one-off deals as well, as you guys do. This number's 800,000. Okay?
800K in a month. Now, something that's funny about this is like these people are so obviously dishonest, and if you have like 2% the brains of a dead pissant, you can, I know 6 years is like, it feels like yesterday in some ways. He goes, I didn't feel good making money off my viewers, so I wanted to pivot to, and it's like, but you still have Twitch subscriptions and you still run ads on your YouTube. You didn't pivot away from that. You just added sponsorships, which is where all the real money is. It's very funny the way he tries to frame it as this fucking magnanimous man of the people shit. I added more ads into the content, and you know, that's because I care about you, the little guy, but I'm still running normal YouTube ads and taking super chats and selling Twitch subscriptions. Anyway, so there you get the idea. So the sponsorships is almost, there's like about 75% of the total income is sponsorships. So the reason I'm pointing this out is to understand why everyone is a cuck, why everyone is a brand cuck, why, you know, Cleave to Antiquity is going to say that Hitler was evil, because you don't get sponsorships when you say Hitler ruled, actually. That's why. That's where the real money is. It's the brands. They have the money, and you don't want to piss off the brands. That's all I wanted to show you, just to make that point. Meanwhile, at the Philly airport, this might be why your luggage is late.
What the hell is going on? Oh my God! Bro, this is crazy! What the hell?
Dude, I keep seeing these videos with this saxophone sound, and I just know it's the same guy making them all. And I swear, too, I would put money on this without knowing who it is. But it's the same guy who was making all those videos that would go, nothing beats a Jet 2 holiday. It's like he uses the sound like over and over again until it creates like a Pavlovian conditioning, you know? If I was out in public and I heard a saxophone that sounded like that, I'd be like, oh, fuck, they chimping out. They're chimping out. Look out. So true. So true, X-Comer.
X-Comer sent $5 on Rumble. The majority of government jobs are work programs for blacks.
Thank you. And we're wrapping up here. One last thing before I call it a day. I am phoning it in all week in case you didn't know.
Not even supposed to be here today. Fuck! I'm not even supposed to be here today. I'm not even supposed to be here today. Oh, fuck you.
working on my day off.
You guys really fucked me over with all your generous donations. Clavicular's girlfriend broke down and started sobbing while begging him to stay after Clavicular broke up with her due to her being manipulative. Let me turn this up a little bit. Go +6. I have a good feeling about +6.
On the internet, say.
You love me, right?
Yeah, but can we
You
not?
love me. So you love me.
Can
There's
we?
not. There's nothing
So
around
look,
that.
it's either
There's
we're.
nothing around
It's
that.
either.
Okay, pause. There's you love me. There's nothing around that. That is kind of manipulative. I'm already on Clav's side. That's already kind of manipulative. You love me, therefore you have to do whatever I want all the time. What's going on here? This is like, there's like, you have a tan, and then there's like, you spend 75 minutes a week in a tanning booth, but also like her hand doesn't have that same tone. This is like you're taking that peptide. You know, there's like a melanin peptide that people take now, and it makes them look tanned. But mark my words, people are going to start turning themselves black with the melanin peptide. Mark my words. Dude, there's so many bots on Kick.
We're friends or we're nothing. So
We're
what?
not friends.
Which would you rather?
We're not.
It's from Boys in the Hood. I don't think that that's right. Everybody knows the Boys in the Hood sax guy, but they're like, that's a like rock song. Wait. Boys. Oh, I was thinking of the Lost Boys. Okay, maybe it is from Boys in the Hood. You're right. I was thinking of the Lost Boys. I got these cheeseburgers. Or is that Juice? Or which one is that? Or Menace to Society. All three of those movies are like blurred together into one movie in my memory.
Friends, though.
But which would you rather? Because when people ask me if I'm a,
Excuse me.
I'm not.
Don't fucking say we're friends.
This is not a relationship.
Don't. Yes, it is.
I'm done. I can't.
You're done?
I can't do it.
Brayden.
I just can't do it. I can't.
Don't.
It's too much.
Don't
You're manipulating me.
Don't. I'm not manipulating.
Yes, you are.
I'm not manipulating you.
You are.
I'm not manipulating. And she starts fake crying. Like, I mean, look, man, maybe that's not fake, but it doesn't feel convincing. I'm not manipulating you.
You're manipulating me.
Don't. I'm not manipulating.
Yes, you are.
I'm not manipulating you.
Yes, you are.
We have an entire foundation we've built.
No, no,
I
you're
mean, what?
manipulating me.
Yesterday you just said we were getting married this year.
No, all you do is you just come down here and you're so soft spoken, and then the next minute you'll scream and hit me and all this shit. Yeah, it's like, why can't?
I'm not screaming and hitting you.
I'm not screaming and hitting you as she raises her voice. What's funny is, like, that's like an admission that she does do that, as far as I'm concerned. If somebody says you are always screaming and hitting me and it's not true, you say, what are you talking about? I've never hit you. Or you say, that was one time. You don't say, I'm not currently screaming and hitting you. Yeah, this is 1 minute in, I'm totally on Clav's side.
I'm not in a relationship, and I'm gonna tell people that.
Just stop. No.
This is not a relationship,
no.
and I'm publicly claiming
No.
that. Yes, I already made my decision. This is no longer a relationship.
All off the gravy train.
Why?
Because I just
Why
can't.
would you give something so good up? Why would you give something so good up?
Because I'd have to give up something else that was so good, which is my fucking career.
You don't have to give your career up.
Yeah, I
I'm
do.
here supporting you.
No, you're not.
He's also manipulative. Oh yeah, she's like Jewish. That's right. She wears like that Star of David. Yeah, a manipulative Jew. What a surprise. I'm open to the argument that Clav is also manipulative, but I'm not really sure how he's manipulative. Like, everyone is a little bit, but I'm not sure. I guess I'm not sure exactly what you mean by that.
I want you to go out. Go do whatever.
Monkey_brain
Yeah.
sent $3 on Power Chat. Clav will have my support as long as he doesn't hit up Empath Chan.
It's important to have a line. It's important that we draw a line somewhere, and that line should be Empath Chan. That's the line you don't cross, okay, guys?
Fuck you want? I'm here waiting for you at home.
I just don't want to be with you anymore.
I'm here waiting at home.
We're no longer in a relationship, and if you want to leave, and if you're
take
not,
this off. Take that off. Take it off.
no, we're not dating anymore.
I don't know.
I'm sorry.
I won't take that.
That's how it is.
Take that. I won't take that.
That's how it
I
is.
won't take that, Brayden. I won't take that.
So it wasn't Clav filming.
We're not
his
dating
own, it was
anymore.
just some other guy
Stop.
he was dropping.
That's not okay. It's not okay for you to do this to me. Why would you do
They got
this?
matching outfits
Stop.
and everything.
Can
They
you
look so
stop?
I
cute
love
together.
you.
Can you just stop? We're not dating anymore.
No.
Can you just-
Please.
I'm not dating
He's
anymore.
dismissive and self-centered.
I love
Forcing me
you.
into this.
No.
I'm not like the Clav defense force or anything. Like, I don't like the way the guy lives his life at all. It's just, I'm just not going to judge a young guy with money for doing stuff that I would have done if I would, it's like, who am I to judge? Yeah, you shouldn't fornicate, as King Jewish would say. You shouldn't be a fornicator. You shouldn't be jumping from broad to broad. You shouldn't be making out with other broads when you're supposedly in a relationship. All this kind of stuff. Clav is not some model, role model, virtuous guy. I just don't know if I would sign off on the manipulative one, because he seems kind of straightforward to me. What I do like about him is he does actually seem pretty straightforward. Not a necessarily good moral guy, but not super fake. I'm pretty good at detecting fakeness. I like to think. And I don't think he is fake. I think he just has a lot of his priorities fucked up.
Stop.
I love you.
It's just, I
I
don't
don't
want
want
to. Can
to
you
be.
let go of me?
I don't want to be anywhere else besides you.
I don't want to date you anymore. Just stop trying to force me to do
Are you
stuff.
serious?
Someone said
Stop.
they sound mic'd up. Yeah, you can see the mic he's wearing right there. I mean, they are streamers. This is what the IRL streaming world is. You're just always online. Probably not a healthy way to live your life, by the way.
Trying to force me to do
Are you
something.
serious?
Stop trying to force me to do something.
Not a good way to live your life, but a good way to get rich for some people. Definitely a good way to make a fuck.
I'm trying to piss. Can you stop?
Oh, are you serious?
Can I piss?
Are you serious?
Can you get out? Can you get out? I'm trying to pee.
Brayden!
I'm trying to pee. Stop. Can you get out? I'm trying to pee.
Yeah, they're all wearing mics.
Why?
Like this guy, you can see this guy's mic right here.
Brayden, I would kill for you.
I just wouldn't comment
Can
on
I
it.
just pee? Can you leave me alone?
No, I can't imagine a life without you.
If it was scripted, I just wouldn't say anything.
No.
I swear.
Oh, Brayden.
I can't.
Serious.
She calling him Braden? Is that his name?
Why
I'm not
can't
serious.
Why can't we just be friends? What's the big deal?
Friends is not even in the equation.
What's the difference between that and now? It's
Just
just
hit her
a
with a
word.
movie line. Call Jenny to fight.
It's a connection.
Round 2.
I guess. Look, I do feel a little bit bad for her if she thought if she actually thought they were going to get married and they were talking about that, which is something she said. But I mean, I also just believe that she's crazy and hits him and stuff like that, which is like, I don't blame a guy for not wanting to marry that. I feel a little bit bad for Clav too. I can't quite tell. Does he like just hopping from woman to woman, you know, which is not hard to understand why a guy would like that? Or is he trying to find the love of his life and he just, all he has is these crazy gold digging manipulative bitches? I'm not sure. I'm not sure which one it is. So if it's the one, I feel bad for him. If it's the other, then he's going to end up like Andrew Tate. He's going to end up in jail if it's the other one.
It's the fact I don't feel safe with anyone but you.
Fucking I had the earpiece in like some fucking CIA agent.
But you're just trying to force me into something I'm not willing to do.
Forcing.
You can hear the piss stream.
Well,
Not a virile
I'm sorry,
stream,
but
by the way.
Imagine a life without you. I can't imagine.
I'd be turning off the mic if that was my piss stream, but if it was me, I wouldn't have to. You'd be hearing a deluge. You'd be hearing a real. You would not be able to hear what the woman was saying because my piss stream would overpower it.
Anything without you.
you're trying to force me to do something I don't want to do.
I don't know. I want you to be happy. I want you to succeed. I'm going to stream.
Then could you just let me leave?
You used to drink more water.
Why would that require a breakup? I'm already supporting you, doing whatever you want, no matter what.
Because it's just like,
Because when you love someone, it doesn't matter what they do. You'll stay.
bruh, now it just looks bad on the internet.
It doesn't.
Yes, it does.
And who gives a fuck? I don't give a fuck what the internet says.
Well, I do.
You shouldn't either. Since when have you ever given a fuck?
Well, it's like I want to be.
Does not.
I want to be single and act like I'm single. Yes. I don't want to be in a relationship.
I love is real.
It's not fair to you.
What?
It's not fair.
He does just want to be a womanizer. Yeah. So, Clav, you're not watching, but here's what's going to happen. You are going to go to jail for rape. And I'm not saying you're going to ever rape anyone, but you're going to go to jail either way. That's what's going to happen. So, you know, I say people should just follow the Bible. And apparently that's like, someone's like, who was that? Somebody called in and they're like, the Bible's not an instruction manual. Well, I disagree. And I think it's an instruction manual that Clav should read before he winds up in jail.
Where are you?
It's not. It's really not. No, are you with me? Because of this. You'll give it up for streaming.
Yes.
She's like, you're going to give up our love for streaming? And he goes, yes. The most charitable interpretation I could give of that is he's doing the bad cop role just to like get her to like, you know, understand. But that's cold. That is cold and selfish.
Is this orphan?
Yes.
Please.
Fine.
I do think Clav is inevitably going to wind up in jail. If it's not women saying that he raped them, it's going to be something to do with drug abuse and alcoholism. Some drunk driving charge, something like that. It just seems like inevitable with this guy. Yeah, that was cold. You'll give this up for streaming? Yes. Streaming is all I care about. All right. Okay, all right. Well, that's it. That's the show. I phoned it in. I showed up. I did what I told you I would. I showed up. Thank you for watching, you guys. Thank you to everybody who sent in the donations. I appreciate the support. You guys have a great day, and I will catch you on the flip side. Peace out. Also, I'm going to do a gaming stream tonight. I'm going to play the Doom the Doom Dark Ages DLC. I haven't played. I hope I remember how to play Doom. It's been a minute, but I'm going to do that tonight. You guys enjoy your Monday. I'll be back tomorrow with another show. Catch you on the flip side. Peace out.
Chat.